Pablo Neruda was a Nobel Prize-winning Chilean poet who was once called the greatest poet of the 20th century in any language. Pablo was born in Parral, Chile on July 12, 1904. Poet Pablo Neruda shared controversy with his affiliation with the Communist Party and his outspoken support of Joseph Stalin, Fulgencio Batista, and Fidel Castro. But his poetic mastery was never in doubt, and for it he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. At the age of 13, he began his literary career as a contributor to the daily La Mañana, where he published his first articles and poems. In 1920, he contributed to the literary journal Selva Australa under the pen name Pablo Neruda, which he assumed in honor of poet John Neruda. Some of his early poems are found in his first book, Crepusculario, published in 1923, and one of his most renowned works, 20 Poemas de Amor y una Canción Desesperada, was published the following year. 20 love poems made Neruda a celebrity, and he thereafter devoted himself to his poetry. In 1927, Neruda began his long diplomatic career, and he moved frequently around the world. In 1995, the Spanish Civil War began, and Neruda chronicled the atrocities, including the execution of his friend Federico García Lorca in his España El Corazón. For the next 21 years, Pablo Neruda continued to write prodigiously, rising in the ranks of the 20th century poets. He also received numerous prestigious awards, including the International Peace Prize in 1950, the Lenin Peace Prize and the Stalin Peace Prize in 1953, and the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1971. Neruda died just 2 years after receiving the Nobel Prize on September 23, 1973, in Santiago, Chile.
Pablo Neruda wrote about almost every theme, but his major ones can be classified into 5 categories: love, nature, nation, politics, and history. Under the love theme, he wrote the poem entitled Love. Under the nature theme, he wrote the poem entitled The White Ocean. Under the nation theme, he wrote the poem entitled The People. Under the politics theme, he wrote the poem entitled Canto General. And under the history theme, he wrote the poem entitled Discoveries of Chile. It's been said that Pablo's inspiration came from his 3 wives, his love affairs, and the love for his nation, Chile.
Always. I am not jealous of who came before me. Come with a man on your shoulders. Come with 100 men in your hair. Come with 1,000 men between your breasts and your feet. Come like a river, full of drowned men, which flows down to the wild sea, to the eternal surf, to time. Bring them all to where I am, waiting for you. We shall always be alone, and we shall always be, you and I, alone on earth, to start our life. In this short poem, the persona talks about his feelings towards a significant other. He explains that it will always be him and her, no matter what the past is, because he is hopeful for the future. He does accept that the woman had her past, but he is in terms saying, bring them all, we shall always be alone. I think this is the true definition of love because it seeks honesty and acceptance. Although it is very short, it has some simple figurative language like the hyperbole, which says 1,000 men between your breasts and your feet, 100 men in your hair. Of course, 100 men can't fit in here. Simile, come like a river full of drowned men which flows down the wild sea, to the eternal surf, to time. He's comparing her towards a river. Also, this brings imagery, flows down to the wild sea, to the eternal surf. It brings the image of this. And he also uses symbol where he says wild sea to eternal surf, to time. He tries to symbolize the wild sea being the symbol of time.